Extreme rain causes flooding, cars swept away by the current. Lanzarote Spanish Island. The extreme rain that hit Lanzarote this afternoon has caused more than 20 incidents, including flooding of basements and garages in the municipality of Teguise, as well as the closure of several roads due to flooding. The rainfall intensified between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. concentrated in the municipalities in the northeast of the island. This forced the closure of the road between Arrecife and Órzola near Tahíche to traffic due to the heavy waters flooding the highway. Access to Costa Teguise from the north of Lanzarote has also been suspended. Based on the information provided by the State Meteorological Agency and other available sources, the government of the Canary Islands has issued an initial warning for rain in Tenerife, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote and Fuerteventura, starting at 11 a.m. this Saturday and in accordance with the Canary Islands Special Emergency Plan for the Risk of Adverse Meteorological Phenomena, PEFMA. This situation is expected to affect the northern and metropolitan areas of Tenerife, the eastern areas of Gran Canaria, Lanzarote and Fuerteventura, where local heavy rainfall is expected to reach or exceed 15 liters per square meter per hour in the northern and metropolitan areas of Tenerife, as well as in the eastern areas of Gran Canaria. Although the weather forecast stated that the storm was unlikely to affect the northern and metropolitan areas of Gran Canaria, Lanzarote and Fuerteventura, more than 20 incidents have been recorded on the latter island. Heavy rains were expected on the more mountainous islands, but the weather surprised everyone this Saturday, with heavy rains on the eastern islands, especially Lanzarote. With little time to react, the State Meteorological Agency, EMET, issued a yellow warning for the entire island, a warning that had also been issued in northern Tenerife and the metropolitan area. However, the forecast was exceeded in Lanzarote, where several areas of the island were flooded, especially in the municipalities of Arrecife and Teguise. The EMET warning ended at 5 p.m., but the island remains on pre-alert status from the Canary Islands government, awaiting further rain on Sunday. The Lanzarote Safety and Emergency Consortium recommends taking extreme precautions in case of heavy rain. The public should be careful and avoid unnecessary travel, given the heavy rains that have fallen on the island this Saturday, especially in the towns of Tahíche and Costa Teguise. Throughout Saturday, Lanzarote and La Graciosa will remain in a pre-rain alert, with some possibility of heavy rain in parts of the day. Likewise, the Lanzarote Emergency Consortium asks the public to stay at home and follow the advice during heavy rain. Furthermore, in the event of any incident during the day, it is essential to contact the emergency services. It is strongly recommended for the public to respond to the rain alert. Before the rain arrives, check the condition of roofs, drains, etc. If you live near a ravine, inform your local council if it is filled with rubbish, debris, etc. In anticipation of heavy rain, please pay attention to the instructions issued through the media. Never, even in summer, camp in flood-prone areas, the bottom of a ravine, etc. If possible, stay in your home, making sure it is not located near a ravine or in a high-risk area. Avoid driving in heavy rain. If absolutely necessary, take extra precautions, paying particular attention to the depth of the water, limiting your speed and monitoring your brakes. If the vehicle starts to fill with water, it is best to abandon it. It is best to drive on main roads or highways, avoid forest paths or secondary roads and use the lowest gear. If you have to cross a flooded area where the water is moving, tie a rope around your waist, securing the other end to a fixed or heavy object. Do not cross bridges that are flooded. If the problem occurs at home, avoid contact with water containing toxic and/or flammable substances. Do not enter areas of the house that are prone to flooding, such as garages, basements, etc. Never use elevators, as the electricity can go out at any time. Disconnect the electrical power. If necessary, do not hesitate to leave the house, go to higher ground or wherever the authorities have directed you. If the water isolates you at the top of your house, do not swim out, the current can sweep you away, it is better to wait for help. Do not overestimate your abilities, be careful, and if necessary, seek special assistance. Once the emergency is over, do not return home until a technician tells you that it is safe. Once you have entered the house, do not light matches or devices that can cause sparks, including light switches. Call 112 only in case of emergency. If you need any information, please use 012, not 112. Local governments should provide signs for areas of frequent damage in the municipality, business premises, underground parking areas, seaside walkways, etc. Monitor potential landslide areas. Inform and alert city officials and members of city organizations. Pay attention to weather information and, in particular, warnings issued by SECOS 112. Establish a mechanism for monitoring and reporting the situation. Use the Tetra Rescan network as the main radio communication system with SECOS 112. Control access to seaside promenades, breakwaters, and embankments. Evacuate all visitors from the beaches, prevent swimming in the sea, and prohibit sports and recreational activities at sea. In situations of urgent risk, stop traffic on roads or paths leading to the flood zone, traffic control. Especially road signs and intersections. Establish control points with the following functions. Put up signs or markers in flooded areas in the municipality, avoid parking vehicles, ensure that no activity is carried out that could be affected. Make an estimate of the available and necessary resources. Establish the appropriate notifications to emergency services, basic services and entities. Communicate the activation of the municipal plan to SECOS 112. Warn the population in areas where the situation assessment indicates the possibility of serious damage. Big news from Spain's tourism industry as the rare and brutal storm Olivier begins to wreak havoc on Easter tourism in the country's favorite holiday islands. Holidaymakers dreaming of a spring break in the region have woken up to horrific stories in Lanzarote, Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Tenerife, La Gomera, La Palma and El Hierro. Once bustling with Easter holidaymakers, these iconic islands are now crippled by nature's merciless assault. Flights are being cancelled every hour, roads are either flooded or buried under landslides, and hotels from Lanzarote to El Hierro are scrambling to evacuate tourists as the ruthless wrath of Storm Olivier has not spared Spain's tourism industry. Meteorologists are calling it one of the most devastating spring weather events ever to hit the Canary Islands, and the damage is only just beginning. Tourist hotspots such as Tenerife, Gran Canaria, La Palma and the entire archipelago face a complete shutdown of tourism, as the brutal storm continues to devastate Spain's Easter holiday economy. That is the information we can provide about the extreme rain that has hit the beautiful Spanish islands. Hopefully it is useful and may the tourist spots return to being beautiful places and visited by many tourists again.